Hey, what's on, guys? So today I just want to talk about the next Infamous game. Now this video is pretty much pure speculation. There's no confirmed news apart from just a few things. So I want to talk about what we can expect to see in the next Infamous game, whether it's Second Son 2 or Infamous 3 or something completely different. So Sucker Punch, the company that makes Infamous games, has been pretty quiet for the past couple of years, ever since they wrapped up that last DLC for Second Son. It's been confirmed that they're working on a new project a while back, but nobody knows what it is. A couple of months ago, there was a job posting for a character artist for Sucker Punch. The posting pretty much said that they needed someone who can model high-res and high-efficient characters with realistic facial expressions. Most likely, this is a new Infamous game because of what Sucker Punch is notably known for. Now, on to whether if this turns out to be a new Infamous game, what we can expect to see. There are a few different options, but first off, they could do a sequel to the original Infamous series with Cole McGarth. For those of you who don't know, there are two possible endings, original Infamous series, where in the good ending, he sacrifices his life and saves all of those with superpowers to save the world. And then the bad ending is he kills his best friend Zeke and triggers more events that would kill most people, but give birth to new superpowered humans. Sucker Punch can build off of that into a third game, which they can somehow bring Cole back through whatever means necessary, because I mean, it's a video game. They have the ability to do that. Now, anything is possible, but I'd say that this seems pretty unlikely, just because now we have Second Son, and they could have done that instead of making Second Son. But you never know. You know, that could have just been a stepping stone for what's to come next. Now, the next possibility is Second Son 2. Which is probably the highest possibility, because Second Son 2, like the previous game, also had a good and a bad ending, but neither end result had Delsin sacrifice himself to save the world, so they could build off of it. They did have both endings could work for possible sequels. I think they could build off of this by having Delsin, Fetch, and Eugene fight to save other conduits as well. You know, ones that have other powers like Paper and just a bunch of other conduits that are out there. And maybe alongside that, there's a new group instead of the DUP that they're trying to fight. Maybe someone a lot stronger than the DUP. Now, the other options for Second Son 2 would be like an all-out war between conduits. You know, it's like all these different factions of conduits, each with their own goal and mindset, and somehow this all leads to an all-out war. I think that would be absolutely insane to see, you know, because Sucker Punch definitely pushes their limits when it comes to these games. So I think that's something that they can do with enough hard work put into it. So I see that as another possibility. Next is probably the most unlikely, but it would be pretty cool to see, is a team up between Cole and Delsin to stop, you know, a much bigger, stronger villain or threat that either of them have ever faced. Not sure how it would all work together, just because Cole died in Infamous if you chose a good ending, and if they bring him back, then they have to piece everything together, because it's two different stories. Though there are those missions in Infamous Second Son which kind of tie in both the games, but it would be a little bit challenging to bring them two together. Now, out of all the options that I've mentioned, I'd say Second Son 2 seems the most likely as of now. You know, either of those two choices could work. As for what powers I'd like to see some new powers that we haven't seen before, and maybe the return of some old powers as well. On a side note, the next project could even be like an Infamous remaster of the first two games and Festival of Blood. So this seems pretty unlikely, because game companies don't really hire a new character artist for a remaster of a game. But you never know. You know, Sucker Punch could be working side by side on a new Infamous game and a remaster for the old ones. But some powers I'd like to see are like fire, the ability to like shoot fireballs, water, the ability to like turn your hands into like water cannons and then create like water prisons and stuff. I think that'd be really cool to see. These are just some ideas off the top of my head though. Overall, guys, a new Infamous game seems very likely, and there's a lot of different routes that they can take, some more possible than others. As for when we can expect to see some sort of like trailer or announcement or anything at this point, any news, I would say as of now, E3 2017 is our best bet. You know, sadly, that's like a year away, but right now that's all we can go off of. But that's all I've got for you guys. Just my overall thoughts on what Sucker Punch could be working on, and if it turns out to be their next Infamous game, what we can expect to see. If you enjoyed the video, then smack that like button. As always, appreciated. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Also, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button to see more content like this. See you guys next time.